I know this is probably not the most joyous TGIF we have had. Um, and, let's face it, most people here are pretty upset and pretty sad because of the election. Myself, as an immigrant and a refugee, I certainly find this election deeply offensive, and I know many of you do too. And I think it's a very stressful time, and it conflicts with many of our values.
The forces out there seem well beyond you. Globalization, immigration, trade, whatever, and you're afraid and you're trying to look for answers. And that fear, I think, not just in the United States, but around the world, is what's fueling concerns, xenophobia, hatred, and a desire for answers that may or may not be there. It's feeling a distrust of experts and disregard of traditional institutions.
I want to take you back to 8:30 p.m. on Tuesday night. I was at home with friends and family watching the election returns. And as we started to see the direction of the voting, I reached out to someone close to me who was at the Javits Center where the big celebration was supposed to occur in New York City, somebody who'd been working on the campaign. And I just sent him a note and said, are you okay? It looks like it's going the wrong way. And I got back a very sad, short text that read, "People are leaving, staff is crying, we're gonna lose." That was the first moment I really felt like we were gonna lose. And it was this massive, kick in the gut that we were gonna lose. And it was really painful. I suggested that what we all need right now is a hug. So everybody, if you could turn around or go to the person next to you and do a hug. It works. Woo! Yes! And that is critical. We all have an obligation to fight for what's right and to never stop fighting for what's right. And that's one of the many things that I think makes this company so beautiful. Our values are strong. We will fight to protect them, and we will use the great strength and resources and reach we have to continue to advance really important values.
I've always imagined my first time up here and people ought to be good news around Google Geist or something, but here we are. Second question is around internal mobility. Can I move to Canada? Now, one could guesstimate that at least 50% of Americans are interested in moving to Canada right now. And that might mean maybe at least 50% of Googlers might be interested in moving to Canada. Toronto and Waterloo can't handle us all, I'm afraid. But look, we move people at Google all the time. I just moved here to California 6-7 weeks ago. We moved 8,900 people in the last 12 months. We expect we'll be moving well more than 10,000 next year. So we care about your talent development and mobility independent of this election. So for those of you interested, pay attention. We do move people.
I actually looked at the data, fairly carefully, and I think the biggest relationship was whether people had really routine jobs in an area, and that correlated highly with Trump's support versus having non-routine jobs. And there's actually a lot of historical precedent for boredom being a huge factor in vote choice, and actually in building extremism. In fact, we've had a lot of work on Jigsaw on extremism that shows high correlation to simple boredom. Also, when people vote, and I know people who voted for Trump and people who abstained and people who voted for Johnson and so forth, voting is not a rational act.